Measuring mass is pretty easy to do. We've all been to a doctor's office, stepped on the scale, and had him move those little weights around. Well, in science class, you're going to be using the same type of balance, although you're not going to stand on it. This right here is a triple beam balance. It's called the triple beam balance because it has 3 beams on it. 1, 2, 3. The first thing that you have to do when you use triple beam balance is get the cats out of the way. After you're sure that there are no cats in the way, you can then make sure that your balance is calibrated. And let me show you how to do that. First, you put all the weights to the 0 position. 0, 0, and 0. Then you take a look at this 0 right here on the edge. And to start, this little line right here has to measure up with this line here. It doesn't in this case. So there's a little knob at the other end of the scale, right here. And what you can do is turn that until the balance zeroes out. You might have to turn it several times to get it to work the right way. You can see by turning the knob, we now have this line lined up with that line. Now we're ready to weigh something. Oh, I think the cat wants to be weighed. No, the cat wants to just hang out while we weigh something else. Okay, let's go get something else to weigh. Let's weigh this napkin holder. Notice when I put the napkin holder on the scale, the line goes up again. You can see how this line is now not measured up with that line. So what you're going to try and do next is move these right here, these weights, until they line up again. When we move the weights on the triple beam balance, we need to make sure that we place them in a notch. So for example, when I move this, I have to lift it up a little bit and move it until it falls into a notch. Notice if I go like this, it doesn't move back and forth, and that's because it's in a notch. If we do that, it's still down too far. Notice that this line is still too high. So we'll move the weight again. Here we just moved it to 200 grams. No, still too high. 300 grams, too high. 400 grams. Wow, now it's too low. It went way past where it needs to be. So what we'll do is we'll put it back to 300 grams. There you go. Again, making sure that it's in the notch. Once we find out that the weight is somewhere between 300 and 400 grams, we can use this back beam. Let's move it along. Here's 10, 20. Oh, 10 is too little, 20 is too much. So let's move it back to 10. Finally, we're going to move this smaller weight on the beam. And we'll move it and move it and move it, all the while trying to get those two lines here to match up. Okay, that looks pretty good. Notice now that we have the lines pretty much matching up pretty nicely. And all we need to do now to figure out what the mass of the napkin holder is read the balance. First, you'll look closely at the heaviest weight. That says 300, so we know it's at least 300. Then, we look at the second heaviest weight. That's at 10. Finally, we look at the smallest weight. And The smallest weight is at 7, this is 7.5, then 7.6, 7.7, it looks like 7.8. So we know that the weight of our napkin holder is 317.8. Well, that's pretty much all there is to using a triple beam balance. Pretty easy, huh?